Okay. This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to invest, right? But we're going to talk about how to invest your time and your money, because these are the two most valuable things that you got. Everybody says time is money or money is time, and I don't know where they get that from, but I don't know if I agree or not. But anyways, so here's what we got to know. Here's what we got to know. First of all, investing your time can result in getting more money, right? But when you're investing your time, you got to recognize what is going to be worth your time on the front end, aka while you're younger, in order to assure that you're not going to have to continue to basically duplicate the same amount of time in order to get the same result. Because you don't want to clone the same amount of work every time and it only result in the same amount of money over time. You want it to be able to multiply. So you got to recognize that if you, for example, are getting paid by the hour, you're investing more time over time, right? Because if you stay at the same job for say 6 months, you're spending more time there than you did the first day. And then typically people end up doing overtime and all that type of stuff. But your hourly pay is fixed. So if your hourly pay is fixed and your overtime pay is fixed, it's actually still just the same amount of money getting cloned. But in order to actually manifest what I would call real deal wealth and freedom, you're going to have to figure out how to invest your time while you're younger. And of course, if you're not that young, that's a matter of opinion anyway, but that's why I'm saying younger, not when you're young. But when you're younger, you can make sure that whenever you're investing your time, it's going to translate into more money over time as you get better at what you do. And the only way for that to really make sense is if you're investing in a trade, or should I say a skill set, right? Because you can have the same skill set. So for example, I know how to mix songs, right? So if I'm doing this now, I could say charge $100 for a song, for example, right? I charge somebody $100 for a song. It's going to take me 3 hours to do this song. All right, cool. So as I get older, as I get more accolades, more achievements, more experience, I'm going to get better at what I do. So it should, in theory, take me less time to actually achieve the finished product. So also, because I got more experience and my skills are going to be greater and greater, because I'm going to keep getting better as I continue in that career, I'm going to be able to charge more money, even though it's going to take me less time to give somebody the finished product, right? So giving somebody the value on your skill set is how you really get money for real. So of course, having multiple streams of income is another thing, but I'm not going to talk too much about that one in this video. So look, if you are invested in a skill set, you still got to make sure that you are able to negotiate how much you get paid per job, because the whole problem with having a fixed income is there's a ceiling above you, but you want to be able to basically make yourself your ability needs to be to have unlimited money come in from several different directions as well. So when you're investing your time, you got to invest the time in figuring out a skill set. Once you figure out that skill set, you're going to be able to make more money over time with it, for the simple fact that you're getting better at it. Same thing with if I'm day trading, right? I trade binary options. So I know that as I continue to get better, I'm going to be able to make more money more quickly, because I'm able to leverage more money, because I'm making more money, right? Because I'm getting better at what I do. So I'm making more money than I have been, and I'm able to risk more money because I'm more confident in my choices, because I invested in that skill set early on. So I hope you're understanding how this compounds, right? So when you mess around, get 2, 3, 4 different skills that you can basically turn them on and off whenever you want, it's gonna start raining money on you, bro. You're gonna mess around, you're gonna start having people come at you, right? And once they know, like once you're in a certain industry and you're known for that, you're gonna have people, they're gonna know why they wanna come to you. They're gonna know what they can get from you. So if they find out you got a good or a service, they're gonna be able to come to you, and they're gonna know exactly what to expect from you. And with your track record, they'll know exactly what kind of results to expect as well. So that's super important, because a lot of people, they're trying to get some right now money, but they're not thinking about the long term, how much that's going to cost them, because it's going to cost you a significant amount of time to work a normal job. Now, I'm not bashing anybody and everybody for having what I call a normal job, because you can use that as a stepping stone, use that money and invest it into your skill set. If you say, for example, use that money that you earned, stack it up, and go to trade school and pay for trade school with that, learn how to be a barber, or maybe learn how to program computers or something like that, you can charge people however much you want to charge them for the job. But that's the whole thing, bro. You got to be independent in order to see real money for real. Because if you got somebody who's your boss, they're always gonna make more money off of your labor than you do off of your labor. So it's not a fair trade really, because they call it a trade for a reason, like trade school, right? And if I'm trading binary options, they literally call it day trading, because you're basically exchanging one thing for value for another thing for value. And ideally, once you're good at this, you're going to be able to get something that's way more valuable in exchange for what you just put out. So I should be able to put out this small investment and get a return on the investment that's, say, 90% on top of my investment. So once you get to the next part, right, that's investing your time. But I didn't really talk too much about investing your money. I'm not done talking about investing your time, though, because you got to invest your time, because it's not just about making money, bro. You got to figure out how to invest your time within, because, you know, on this channel, we talk about spirituality and how to get what you desire anyway. And some of the stuff you desire is not going to be materialistic, like money, cars, and jewelry, and clothes. This stuff is cool for sure. But that's not the only focus, because in order to get that stuff, really, you got to be good within first. So you got to make sure that your chakras are aligned. So I got a video, actually I got several videos talking about fixing your broken chakras. So if you haven't seen those videos, definitely check them things out. But whenever you are figuring out how to get to know how to invest your time right in order to manifest certain kinds of relationships, or not necessarily getting new ones to show up, but how to have the higher quality relationships with the ones that you already got and how to improve them even, you got to figure out how to invest your time in other people and within yourself. So let me give you an example, right? If you married and you want to improve the quality of your marriage, it's going to take for you to invest some time into thinking more about your marriage. So if you're thinking more about, say, how your spouse feels about certain things, when you start to really get good at thinking, it's not going to take you as long. Like, for example, if I need to learn how to empathize more with my wife, at first it's going to be some cognitive dissonance. It's going to be kind of tough for me to figure out how to really like empathize with certain type of things that she might feel, right? But as I continue to do it, it's going to take less time to get to the point of how to comprehend why she feels the way she feels. Because, of course, all of this stuff, you're going to get better with it over time. All of this stuff is really skills within skills. So this whole life thing is a game, and there's so many individual games within it. So one of these things that's super important to get good at is figuring out how to deal with other people, because being alone is great and it's very productive and you need to do it sometimes. But everybody truly desires to have a good friend and somebody to love on them. So I mean, that be at least one somebody. So that being said, you're gonna have to make sure that you're paying attention to people's feelings and making sure that they get where you're that you get where they're coming from, or at least they feel like you do. Because people are gonna shut down on you if they feel like you basically aren't any kind of sympathetic, empathetic, or if you're not relatable. People don't like that. So the one way that people find somebody to be likable is they have something in common with them. So you got to be able to really talk to people in a smooth type of way. Like if somebody's really expressing themselves to you, you got to be able to recognize, oh, they feel some type of way about this. Let me make sure that I say something in response that's going to validate their feelings. And because, of course, the whole thing is you're investing your time in them when you're talking to these people. So you got to make sure that it's very well invested, because if you mess around and start, I don't know, arguing about something that's not even worth arguing over, or if you give them a combative type of perspective, because sometimes it's good to show a perspective that's different, but sometimes people just want to have a listening ear. So it's a balancing thing, of course. But whenever you invest your time in figuring out how to deal with other people and really getting to know people's psychology, you're getting to know your own as well. So you're going to figure out where you typically make mistakes, where you need to work, what you need to work on. And that's the inner thing that I was talking about, working within. Fixing your broken chakras is typically just about healing from your past experiences, because everybody got traumatized by something in life, probably several things, and people got trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma that they never even healed from. So of course it's not going to be as easy to get what you desire, because all of these emotions have weight to them. So it's weighing you down. You're supposed to be lightweight, right? I'm sure you've seen well, maybe you haven't, but the ancient Egyptians had this saying where they're like, your heart needs to be as light as a feather, because that's the only way for you to get out of here and get to heaven and whatnot. it's not quite literally you're gonna put somebody's heart on a scale. They have visuals where they used to actually like paint pictures of somebody's heart being on a scale, but and then they put a feather on the other side of the scale, and it's supposed to be lighter. Of course, that's not quite literally realistic, but what they're trying to get at is if you got a heavy heart, if you let all of these emotions weigh you down, you're not gonna actually be able to get the stuff that you need and get to the experiences that you really desire, because subconsciously it's weighing you down and you're still stuck in the past and you're still dwelling on old emotions that don't serve you. So you got to figure out how to heal. Now let's get into the investing your money part, because this part is super important. When you're investing your money into something, you got to make sure that it's a risk and reward ratio that makes sense. So like I said, I trade binary options. It's extremely risky and you can lose all the money that you just put in there in a very short amount of time. But the reward is extremely high. So what I basically decided to do was I'm going to take the time and figure out this skill set. I'm going to figure out human psychology, because basically when you're looking at the charts, all it is a visual representation of the psychology of the world. If you figure out how human psychology works, you can get rich, stupid rich, right? Rich beyond your wildest dreams. So if you're looking at these charts and you figure out, okay, I'm gonna invest my money at this moment expecting this outcome, boom, you can actually, once you get the skill set up, once you take the time, it's probably gonna cost you some money at first, because investing is risk. That's the whole point. There is risk involved in any kind of investing, whether you investing in real estate, whether you invest in your time in a lover or what have you. There is a chance that you're not gonna get the result that you intended. You gotta know that. So first of all, you gotta be willing to lose it. So you got to be detached from the outcome that you think you're going to get because of the big picture. The big picture, you got to know that all I'm going to do is get more experience regardless. So I'm never really going to lose, because even if the money goes away or the time goes away that I invested in this individual, either way it goes, it's going to help me get to know how to play this game called life even better, and you're going to know what to expect in the future. So you shouldn't make the same mistakes too many times. So once you start picking up on the patterns on what works and what doesn't, it's going to be even easier over time to pull a woman that you want, a man, a woman, out of the ethers and get them into your life. Whether it's, I don't know, a car that you want, some jewelry that you want, I use the word want, of course, but you know what I mean, that you desire. It's going to be easier to get these things over time once you got more experience in the game that you're playing. So you really need to take the time to become an expert in whatever you're doing. But a lot of people don't have the patience. They want to get rich quick, right? Everybody want to get rich quick. But the thing is, there is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme unless you steal the money, right? That's just what I believe. Unless you steal that shit, you are not going to have a way to get rich, boom, immediately. I even believe that if you're playing the lottery, right? A lot of people say you can get rich quick playing the lottery. Bro, if you play the lottery once, I guarantee you're not going to win. People who win the lottery are people who play frequently. Typically, it's the people who play a lot. It ain't just, I played one time and I just so happened to hit a jackpot. No, bro, that's not how this works. You gotta basically decide where you're gonna direct your energy, and it's gonna grow. So it's like a laser beam, right? If you put a flame on something for a moment, it's not gonna really get all the way through to it, compared to if you keep holding it on there and keep hitting that thing, right? So if I just like put my hand across a candle wick, I do like that real quick, it's not gonna burn me. But if I put my hand there and I hold it there, the flame is gonna have more and more time to burn into whatever surface it is that it's trying to penetrate. Same thing with money, bro. Figure out where you're gonna invest your money and your time. You're gonna have to stick with it. Because you can get rich doing anything, typically, right? As long as you're doing it for yourself, there's a way for you to get rich off of it. But you're gonna have to stick with it. A lot of people quit when they hit a setback. You gotta expect that you're gonna get setbacks sometimes. You're gonna expect that you're not gonna win every time. This is freaking planet Earth, dude. Get real. It's not gonna work all the time. Like, you're not gonna get exactly what you expect every single time you do what you do. But what's gonna happen is you're gonna condition yourself to new experiences. And as you get more experience, you're gonna know how to make better decisions as you continue on with your investing your time and your money. So you just got to decide what you're going to invest in and then stick with it till it works, because it's going to freaking work. It's not a matter of if it works. I say this on my channel all the time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But you got to be stubborn. You got to be very stubborn. Once you decide what you're going to make work, whether it's I decided that I'm going to make it work with this spouse of mine, or I decided that I'm gonna make it work with this business that I'm investing in, or what have you. The longer you spend time on that junk, the more experience you're gonna get. You're gonna figure it out. So be patient. The biggest freaking problem with a lot of these people ever since the internet age is people don't got no damn patience no more. Bro, you gotta be patient and you gotta be diligent. You gotta stick with it. And cause I promise you, bro, if you talk to anybody who got rich for real, all we done did is decide what we're gonna do and never stop. That's it. That's how you find success. You decide what you're gonna do and never give up on it. You have to make up your mind though, because a lot of people are indecisive, they scatterbrain. But also on the same token, when you're first getting started in something, you need to also be okay with being open-minded and tweaking it and changing your mind and stuff. So like I said, it's a balance thing. Everything contradicts itself. Everything is and isn't. So you need to make sure that you're focused, yet not too committed or too attached or overworking yourself. You also got to make sure that you're being disciplined, right? Figure out what it means to be disciplined in what you do. Being disciplined, it typically means not quitting on it, right? Because if you ain't got no discipline, you're gonna quit on whatever you got going on, and then you might have just quit right before the fruits of the labor started coming in. You never even knew. And then you're gonna end up messing around starting all the way over on something when it's like, bro, you could have made this work. Especially if you love it. Bro, if you love it, nobody should be able to stop you from doing what you love anyway. But it's all up here, bro. It's a mental thing. All of this stuff is a mental thing. You gotta know that. Once you get control over your emotions and you are aware of your own personal habits and what you need to work on, and you take control of the fear and eliminate the fear completely, bro. There is no room for fear when you're taking control over your reality. Once you truly decided that I'm gonna take control of my reality, I'm not gonna be afraid anymore. When you truly believe that, your actions are gonna line up with it, and you're not gonna think that you need to go sell out or go do something that you know you don't really want to do. All that's optional, bro. You can do whatever you want to do every day and be rich. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. But it's not gonna always be easy in the beginning. So that's what makes somebody who's a god as opposed to somebody who just thinks that you can manifest stuff. So you just got to make sure you ain't fake woke and make sure you really believe in yourself, because ultimately it's all about knowing who you are. Know yourself and you could get whatever you desire. I'm out of here. Hit the like button and leave me a good comment. Help me with the algorithm.